Take a deep breath. We're here. Welcome. Welcome to the Soul Led Round Table. Bringing change, bringing perspective, wanting to make a difference. This is the third one, and this is today myself, Ayrton, founder of For Souls, host for this Soul Led Round Table. For the moment, I have decided to really pull this and um, try it on, speak up by myself so that I would just lay the ground, lay the foundation for a real roundtable with you here, speaking with me, with others, truly showing up in this virtual connection, virtual conversation. Today, this roundtable, so that we cut the silence, we cut the compliance to the big, to um, the bigger agenda, to what's out of our control, but that we can somehow influence. Today, the talk is about choosing change, how soul-led businesses shift strategy and lead in a different way. The first time was really about setting the stage, setting the frequency of the round table, understanding why this was created in the first place and what made me create it, because it was truly bothering me how the media were showcasing a war and making it like strategy, and so like how this was born out of the need to speak my soul. So really face real world wide matters from a soul frequency, from a soulful approach. The second was about calling out the great of the world, the great leaders, the ones who don't just have influence but have some good level of control over our lives. Ones like Jeff Bezos and Amazon, Elon Musk with his SpaceX and billions, and um, Trump, different presidents. Uh, that was the second time, just calling out, but more than calling out was calling forward. And this third time is about showcasing real life example, um, and individuals and businesses that chose to shift, chose to face the hardship of change, of readjusting their entire strategy, restructuring a company, an organization with hundreds, thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of employees all around the world, and commit to soul-led leadership and commit to a new agenda, very often realizing that they were off track and choosing to change it, choosing to lead change by showing that it's possible. It is possible wherever you are at right now in your journey, personal journey, individual journey, business creation, whether you're a solopreneur or you're a quite affirmed and accomplished business organization, multinational corporation. This roundtable is about proof. This roundtable is about possibility. This roundtable is about the real work of transformation beyond words, not just an agenda like so many times it happens in politics, where politicians want to get voted and they go all in about the type of changes that they want to make happen, and then they do nearly nothing compared to the big promises. This roundtable is not about who promised. This round table, soul led roundtable is about who did it. I'm truly hoping to create some movement around these topics, which is why I call forward the big ones, and I call forwards the ones who did it. So let's talk about some proof. But before that, um, so I wanna mention right away the ones who I will be spotlighting and showcasing. Um, I want to say that the idea of this came from a partner of mine, a collaborator of mine that watched the documentary Beyond Zero about Interface Inc. And how they literally pivoted their operations and strategies throughout the 20th century, the 1900s, and they led change with um, boldness. And so the first business that I'll be talking about is Interface Inc. The second business that I'll be talking about is Patagonia. The third business that I'll be talking about is Ben and Jerry's. And then I'll be mentioning the Beyond Zero Emissions um, think tank. And I want you to invite to take a breath right now as the very first thing. As this is a conversation where we take in these topics, these global matters from a different space, then let's tune into that different space. Let's tune into this different energy, shall we? Take deep breath in and out and be ready. Be ready to bring forth not just what's wrong with the world, but here, receive the greatness of who's been trailblazing and choosing differently. And find it within you. Find that courage within you. Know that if you're here listening today, right now, whether live or recording, that this is for you. You have what you've got in you, not just to say that you want to change, not just to say that, but to be among the few that they actually do it. And who knows, maybe among the ones that actually sustain it. We're here to and breathe it in, witness those who've stepped out of the comfort zone. We're here to learn and receive their courage to disrupt old patterns and ways of society that are no more tolerable. And we're here to reflect on how we too can bring that courage into our daily choices. Change does not come from perfection, change comes from the willingness. So, as you feel tuned into this space, I firstly invite you to think, how can I apply this to my life? How can I apply this to my relationships? How can I apply this to my business? This is my invitation. So let's start with the spotlights. The first Soul Lab business spotlight that I bring to you is about, as I told you, Interface, which is Interface Inc., which is the business, thanks to the documentary Beyond Zero that you can find on Netflix or HBO, for example, or on many international flights if you're flying around. My business partners saw that on an international flight. Um, Interface Inc. I'll gonna run through what this is all about real quick. Is a business that in the 1990s has faced an inner revolution led by its late CEO Ray Anderson. And in 1990s, uh, they were one of the world's largest carpet and flooring, public flooring manufacturers. And after realizing that the company was broadly contributing to the environmental destruction of Earth, after after reading these the ecology of commerce, he says he realized how deep and profound the shift needed to be. Instead of doing business as usual, he committed to what they named and even copyrighted Mission Zero, to eliminate the company's environmental footprint by the year 2020. And um, that was absolutely a big thing, because especially in the 90s, if nowadays we talk a lot about greenwashing and talking good and doing nothing about it, um, that wasn't a marketing gimmick, that wasn't a marketing strategy. It required a total business reinvention and revolution, like 360: renewable energy, closed loop recycling, product redesigning, um, have and oh, of course, and a cultural change within the company from top to bottom. In fact, he had to face a lot of resistance and doubt from his board, from his employees. But despite the resistance and doubt, Interface Inc. became a global model for how profit, planet, and purpose can coexist. It became this leader in how pro- in in how business can pivot, and it doesn't have to destroy to succeed. It was a market leader. And imagine, one of the world's largest carpet manufacturers, that, whose CEO has a realization they're destroying the planet, and they choose to change. Oh my God, we are creating something that is lasting forever. This was the actual marketing, the successful marketing campaign. We will produce a floor and a carpentry that lasts forever. It does not degrade. Imagine that today. In a world where it's like, oh no, we need to get into the recycling and into the circular economy, and it's like you produce something that doesn't degrade. And Ray Anderson, the CEO, realized that and decided to change it. To do that, to eliminate the environmental footprint by 2020, he had to reinvent completely, again, renewable energy, closed loop recycling, product redesigning, culture change. Now, in order to do that, he had to face resistance. And the bold vision of Mission Zero was accomplished 1 year before, 1 year after his death. So I have one message for you. While leadership starts with taking radical responsibility for the unintended harm that we might have created and having the courage to change it, it is also about knowing that we might not see the end of our vision, but the fire, the satisfaction, the fulfillment, the absolute drive that you, I, anyone would receive by embarking on such a massive, big soul vision is has no price. And Ray Anderson shares that. And he dies in 2019. And when they go through the company's emissions and so on and so forth and data, they find out that they achieved it by 2020. So this is the first company that I wanted to showcase. And go watch Beyond Zero. Go watch this incredible documentary. I made my research. I didn't have the chance to watch the documentary myself. I want to call myself out because in here we're about truth and honesty and transparency and doing this together. This is a round table, and I would love you to bring your ideas. If you have comments, if you have anything, like, bring it on, because we want to talk about them in the next episode. But this is the point. So this was the first company, and it's been a very powerful experience, even just to hear it from me, and I hope it has been for you. The second one is Patagonia. Patagonia, for the ones who know, Patagonia is a well, it's a company that creates um, instruments. Now I'm missing the words. Um, I'm looking into my notes so that I find the right word for it. Of course, um, it produces well, tools and wearing to climb and for outdoor. Yeah, that's it. Okay, and now they chose to really go all the way for as a commitment to Earth. So they were known for outdoor apparel. Okay. And now, if you talk about Patagonia in the world of big corporations and businesses, and who likes Patagonia, most often likes it for its radical commitment to Earth. It has redefined what business can look like when soul leads the mission, when awareness of what we're doing on this planet leads the mission. So in 2022, the founder, Yvon Chouinard, gave away the company. It literally gave it away. They entrusted it to a trust and non-profit dedicated to combating the climate crisis. This is selfless. This is absolutely powerful and selfless. If you think about a business that is making you millions, is making you rich, is making you comfortable, it has created your generational inheritance, and you choose to make every dollar that is not reinvested in the company to run it, of course, to protect the environment. They've pioneered ethical sourcing, fair label practices, and even encouraged people not to buy new products unless it's necessary. Literally, they tell their people, their customers, don't buy this jacket. Don't buy this jacket. It's counterintuitive. Is it is against the stream. It's not business for the very usual bottom line of profit. And look, they have faced backlash. They have faced higher costs. They have faced absolutely difficult decisions, but their sole compass never wavered to it. And nowadays, this is really needed. If you're listening, if you're the leader of a company that, and you are at the space where it's like, I would, you're asking yourself, how can I act more towards the environment? How can I reduce the impact, the negative impact that my business is having on society and on Earth, on the eth- ethnicities that it touches? I want to tell you, it's possible. Today's Soul Led Roundtable is about showing you proof of it, showing you proof, telling you that you can reinvest every dollar to protect the environment. You can sustain higher costs and make those difficult decisions, following your soul, creating drive, satisfaction, fulfillment for yourself, and put it onto your employees, into your board, change the world. You might not see the results of it. You might not see the results of it, but what is the cost of not doing it? I have a coach, and this is about shifting my own identity. The coaching that I receive is about um, choosing different actions based on the results that I want to create. So if the results that we are creating are results we do not like, what are the results that we like? What are the new behaviors that we can adopt and perform? What are the actions daily, weekly, monthly, on the span of a quarter, of a semester, of a year, of a 10 years long vision, as a business, as a human individual? What are the actions that I, and the identity and the branding that I have to embody, to embrace? And then once I identify them, it's often very difficult, because it's we encounter a lot of resistance internally and externally when something new comes up. But I'm pretty sure that the cost of not doing that is way bigger than the cost of doing that. So ask yourself, what is the cost of me not shifting my business? What is the cost of me not talking my truth and this truth into the board meeting? What is the cost of inaction, of me not changing and shifting my identity and behaviors? So, quickly recapping again about Patagonia. Patagonia's founder, Yvon Chouinard, literally gave away the company to fight climate change. Selflessly put the business into a trust where all profits protect the environment. They have championed ethical sourcing, activism, and even run campaigns telling people not to buy their new products unless needed. Only take what you need. Only take what you need. When you're at a buffet, don't fill your plate and then throw away what's left because you're not hungry anymore. Only take what you need, and yeah, let's become really aware of our contribution to pollution, to waste, to harm and damage. It's damaging the planet when we take more on the plate than what we actually eat and then we throw it away. So let's just become aware. It's damaging the planet when we leave the lights on. I'll give you a marketing strategy. If you are a little store owner, normally people leave their lights on. Businesses, companies, and I'm talking maybe about even, I'm from Florence originally, right? I got raised in Florence. Gucci, Ferragamo, this Dior, whatever, right? They would leave their light on at night because it's nicer, it's fancier. That's marketing. That's consuming the planet. So if you're a store, um, if you have a store, maybe put a beautiful sign written, "I switched off the light for the planet. Come back tomorrow when there's light." I bet you not. Someone will come back, even thanking you for that, and buy from you whatever you sell in the store, because people care. We are in a day and age where people care, and you'd be standing for truth, soul led leading, and soul led living. Um, so when you lead from the purpose, your entire business becomes a vehicle for change, not just for profit. This is the message from this second company. And then there's Ben and Jerry's. I got it a bit shorter on them. I because I didn't know them before. I've just done some research, but I like them because it started as a small ice cream shop in Vermont, and it became a global icon, not just for taste but for values-driven leadership. It its founders, Ben Cohen and Jerry Greenfield, the way they built their brand was wonderful. It's been really the idea that businesses have, they they are responsible. They have responsibility to drive social and environmental justice. It's not an option anymore. Silence is compliance. It is time to speak up your soul's truth, your what you care for. If you don't speak it up, it's like you don't care. Because by the time you don't speak it up or you do nothing, there's someone else doing against it. And we need to pivot. We need to turn it around altogether because of these talks. Share this talk to someone who's having similar talks so that I can connect with them and we can absolutely nail it together. And so that I can share them because I see them to someone else. Do you understand the relevance of the time we're living and the power that we have, the power of sharing, the power of coming together and talking? I am at the third round table and I am ready to take you on and discuss. Maybe I say something wrong, something that annoys you, and I want to hear your take because it's your soul's truth and it needs to be heard. We must be heard, and therefore they Ben and Jerry went from just marriage equality to Black Lives Matter to climate activism. They consistently use their platform to speak out. They're an example for that. And even when controversial or unprofitable in the short term, they do it. They don't care. They go for it. And so after being acquired by Unilever, they fought and won to retain their independent, values led board to protect their social mission. They were acquired by the giant of giants, Unilever. They fought and won, and they retained the an independent, values led board. They are not letting their word being oppressed, their message being adulterated and watered down. Are you ready, business owner? Are you ready, founder, CEO? Are you ready, individual, soul on earth, to protect your social mission, your heart, truth, no matter what? The message that I drew from Ben and Jerry's story, um, a business that built on the belief that business can drive justice, um, that uses its global platform to stand on racial justice, climate, democracy, and more. That any message can be transmitted if you are a heart that wants to stand for something, even after being acquired by someone who is apparently a bit soulless. You can absolutely thrive in your soul mission. You can scale without selling your soul. It is possible, and this is the message, to scale, succeed, and still speak truth. Values must be protected at every level, especially as you grow. Growth without value is hollow, you people. So I hope you'll speak your bold truth after today. And my last mention, my last mention is about Beyond Zero Emissions, and that that is a think tank offering regenerative climate solutions instead of fear narratives. And this is exactly what we do here. This is why I wanted to mention them. I wanted to mention them because I truly hope that there can be some co-creation, some collaboration. And if you're hearing this, if some of you is hearing this, please do get in touch. Let's see how we can absolutely nail it. I yeah, I offer myself. I offer myself to sustain shifts in energy policies by focusing on what is possible, on what is actionable. So, who are they? Who is Beyond Zero Emissions? It is an Australian independent think tank that approaches climate policy through a solution focused and regenerative lens. Instead of doom narratives like we're hearing a lot today from the mainstream news, and this is what I mainly addressed and called out um, in the first stream of the Soul-led roundtables. Um, Beyond Zero Emissions focuses on practical, scalable action plans that industries and governments can adopt to decarbonize. Their work has been a true inspiration for real policy change in Australia, um, in among some, by reframing what's possible, and it offered a hopeful uh, and soul aligned vision for the future. I'm truly grateful to see initiatives and think tanks and environments and groups, groups that are made of individuals, groups that are made of humans, humans with their soul at the lead, because this means that there is conscious leadership concretely unfolding and happening and embody it in the world. And so the message from Beyond Zero Emissions, like through my lenses, of course, is that conscious leadership means offering not just critique, but actionable or hopeful solutions, which is what I am hoping to get more and more into with the soul led roundtables. Um, and in fact, not just being by myself, but by being with you in the virtual room, talking to the many, talking to your audience. So our audiences combined, so that we make sure that live every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Central European Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, um, and 9 a.m. Pacific daytime, and what is that? 3 hours and a half, 9:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. We get together and we shift the narrative. This is conscious, solution oriented, positive news. Who will you share this today with? If you like this, please follow, subscribe, comment, um, divulgate, help me out. If you resonate, it means that we have the same mission, the same like vision for our planet and for our humanity. I do believe that our humanity will shift gears from being a human civilization to a soul civilization. I want to create a beautiful agenda, the soul led agenda all together. So I would love you to bring up your points for this soul led agenda. What is that? Soul led 2040? Why not? Let's see that. And maybe we are able to collect the efforts, the blessing efforts that the Agenda 2030 for sustainable impact, the sustainable goals agenda of the United Nations. We can collect their efforts and help transition and translate those efforts into an extended vision 2040 or 2050 soul-led agenda for a soul-led civilization, for a soul civilization versus a human civilization, you know. So okay, my dear ones, um let's drop these into your life. Few questions. Where in your life or business are you feeling the pull to change, but you are resisting, but you are not implementing it, but you are, in spite of that pull, just staying in the same place? What is one small adjustment that you can make this week towards your soul led vision? Think of it. It doesn't need to be big, it doesn't need to be massive, it doesn't need to be exaggerated. It needs to be something that you can commit to and know that if you commit to it, you will nail it because it builds up and you get that satisfaction, that fulfillment, that pride. the pride of yourself, your soul being proud of you because you're contributing. You don't need to be confident to change the world. You don't need to be confident to take that action. You need to take that action to be confident. And so, what would it look like to lead from courage instead of comfort? What would it look like to lead from a space of courage, inspiration instead of comfort? The AC on the whole day, comfort, or courage, learning how to regulate your nervous system and your human body so that you don't suffer that heat. So these three questions, I'll drop them super quick for you again. Where in your life or business are you feeling the pull to change, but you are resisting to it? Number one. Number two, what's one small adjustment that you can make this same week towards your soul led vision? And what would it look like to lead from courage instead than leading from comfort? Share it in the comments, share it with someone else, start a conversation with a peer or a partner or a colleague. This same conversation may shift something in them that to the degree of 50 people that we know all each other, to the degree of 50 connections we all know each other nowadays. You can get to every single human in the world by the degree of 50 connections. Your reflection today may change the world. So this is my encouragement. Real change doesn't happen in headlines. It happens in your micro actions. It doesn't happen like with the big trumpets announcements. So speak truth where you usually stay silent. Align your daily choices with values, not with fear, and choose presence over pressure. When you feel pressure, pause. The small shifts become identity, and the identity of yours shapes reality. This is very important. So I want to close it with an invitation again, as I have invited you already in the past. In order to shift some time, we need some perspective, we need some space, we need some support and tough love feedback. So this is something that I willingly and with honor offer you um, in my space, in my community, my free community, the Soul Activation Circle. You can join and receive this continuous prompts and inputs so that you remember to take this action, because very often we forget and fall out of our commitments. And of course, you can reach out to me and we can go deep into that one to one. But I am lifetime committed to support you if you do want to shift your life, your identity, shape your reality and your business eventually. Just reach out if you want support to implement the reflections that came up of this conversation. Number two, the soul led agenda. If you have points that you believe must be addressed for humanity to shift from human civilization to soul civilization, and by 2040 or 2050, specific things that need to be addressed and that need to become part of an agenda that then become a structured action plan. And if you're someone who does this type of things, or if you know someone who, please reach out. Let's come together. I'm open and so excited and so honored to be receiving this type of inputs and connect over this. And number three, in fact, this hop onto this conversation with me. This is soul led roundtable so far in these first three streamings and transmissions. I have been going by myself, just kind of quoting the famous, uh, quite famous, I believe, African proverb: if you go alone, you go faster. If you go together, you go farther. I had to bring it out fast. I had to face the so many things that I have to do, and like the so many informations that we all humans have, and like all the busyness around stuff. I have to do it, and therefore I did it alone. And I walked the first three steps of the staircase by myself. But I want this to get far. I want to get to the first floor, to the last floor of this beautiful building that we're creating together, this new paradigm and perception and approach. I want to get there together because that's how we get farther. So let's come together, come to the next roundtable, reach out to me, share with me your values, your topics, your things. Your life is the message. Blessings and blessings to you. Your life is the message. Let it speak clearly. I talk to you the next time.